Hello artistic adventurers and welcome back to Sketch Quest. We here at TYG have teamed up with some incredible artists to bring you this series of tips to help you start your adventure right. But before we can leave Tutorial Island, we need to brush up on a few skills. And don't worry if you're just starting out, because I'll be learning alongside you. And don't forget to use the hashtag SketchQuest so you can share your results with us. Let's see what today's quest is, shall we? Welcome back, adventurers. We are here with Lost Haven Art, TTRPG illustrator, GM extraordinaire. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming back.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a change. I'm usually at your table.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what is the quest that you have for us today?
Okay, so we're going to be talking a little bit about character design, particularly using a motif for your character design to keep it consistent.
Ooh.
By motif, I mean something like Princess Peach in Mario has love hearts shapes reused in a few places in her design. Or like characters like Sauron in the Lord of the Rings, where the big spire, spiky spire type design elements are found throughout, like the helmet design, the weapon design, and then even the locations and stuff that he frequents. All kind of keep that same design element. So we're going to be looking at that in character design for this quest. And for a motif for this character, I'm actually thinking something animalistic, maybe a cat or a lion type motif.
And why are you thinking about cats?
I don't know why I'm thinking about cats. So there's a few simple ways that we could do this. One of the simple ways is you could make the character themselves a cat girl or something like that. But I tend to lean more towards doing more Western fantasy type stuff. So my idea for this is to use something like maybe a lion head as like the helmet type thing. So you'd have like you could draw on top of the head. Trick about cat noses is they're really just big love heart shapes. Have the mouth that comes down from here. You might even add some teeth in at the sides, making sure not to obscure the eye, because for character design, you kind of want it to be a mix of stylish but practical. So having loads of teeth that are going to get in the way of your character's eyes aren't really all that useful. You'll have the eyes for the lion sitting just above the nose. You might even have some of the crease lines where the eyes be. And you'll notice this heart motif, the shape here and the nose, I'll repeat in a few places, like here and the head.
Okay, I think I'm going to go with the heart motif, but I'm going to go magical girl.
That works. So you're picking a shape, you're picking a theme, and you're going to run with it through your character design. Lions have manes. Again, I'm not doing anything. This is really quick and sketchy. So they'll have like that mane kind of come down like a headdress at the back. Had a few spots where the whiskers would be on these cheeks. And speaking of whiskers, if you're doing a cat type theme, something like tattoos or war paint on the cheeks, sort of imitate whiskers, could be a cool addition. Big cats, little cats as well, tend to have really dark lining around the eyes. Again, that's something that we can repeat on our character design by adding some heavy makeup. gives her eye, draws attention to the eyes, makes them look a little bit more intimidating. You're adding nice jewellery elements there that are heart-shaped.
I was trying not to look like too much like Sailor Moon. That was my fear.
But also think about places where you reuse shapes. Like I said here, the nose is kind of heart shape. I can use that shape again for the top of the head. If you wanted to, you could even have some makeup on the nose of the character itself that copies it. But we'll find other places on the rest of the body where we can kind of copy some of those shapes as well. So, moving on to the body, keeping those shapes in mind. If we're making this character female, they might have armor that fits the chest a bit more, and this is another place where we can actually reuse that nose shape. Actually, maybe even bring it down here. We've got these fur elements, like the mane. Add those in. To make things look, the whole point of having your motif and a theme in mind when designing a character, so you can keep things looking consistent. Some things that are mismatched might look cool and they might fit certain character tropes and archetypes. But in most situations, if you've got things that jump out as being far too different, people's attention is immediately drawn to it, and it stands out as something that probably shouldn't be there. So you're doing great. You're repeating the heart shapes. You've got that nice curve on the top of the thighs. You've got it in the belt. I'm going to copy you with the belt idea.
It's
but I'm
okay.
going to do.
I'm essentially drawing my avatar again.
I'm going to repeat the cat shape. On the belt. Again, I'm going to reuse this fur idea, so I'm going to give her maybe some bracers on the arms. Have a little bit of fur sticking out. Same over here. Going to give her boots.
Everyone needs boots.
Again, I'm reusing that fur texture, the fur and the animal keeps it tied together. Cool. Don't really need to do much to boot shapes already in this, which is fantastic. Other elements that we can add in. We added some teeth in here on the helmet. Can maybe even repeat the idea of teeth by adding in some jewellery. And maybe even around up to the arms. I'm gonna give her some trousers. We're getting like this kind of barbarian, maybe jungle warrior type feel coming through now because we've used the lion, there's a lot of teeth and fur and all that stuff. So all these things add build up to tell a story about your character as well when you're drawing them. And so if she's more from that sort of background, she might have some things like there might be rips in the clothes that she's wearing. There's maybe some stitching instead of things like buttons and stuff like that, and it's probably going to be quite rough stitching. Maybe like a claw type hair here. And the trousers. And for funsies, and keeping the lion motif, if she's like wearing a lion skin as like a helmet and stuff like that, she might have used other parts of the lion. So she might even have something like the tail coming down. I'm going to repeat this stitching because it feels a little bit weird that it's only in one place. I'm going to add a little bit here. So I'm adding on to the shape that I've already used and then applying an element that I've used somewhere else in the design. These scratches on the clothes also mirror the tattoo type markings that we put on her cheek. So you're reusing shapes, you're keeping things consistent. And you would do the same if you're applying colour. So you've already started applying colour.
Yes, yeah, I was helping like pick out the bits that I was doing. Sorry.
You're using pinks and reds and stuff. They all tie into your motif of a heart. For doing a lion, I might want to use something a bit more like goldy yellows and browns. Which you can maybe put in some of the fur places. So wherever there was fur, I'll repeat this colour. Here on the boots. And I'm just doing this really scribbly just to give you an idea of what you're thinking about. So if you're like doing this as part of your concept sketch phase, like your initial ideas, you've got a theme, you're kind of sticking with it, you're doing a few rough sketches of your character. You might want to use colour, give you an idea of how things look. But quickly throwing down colours like this also helps you identify things for later use, like what materials these might be. So the dark brown that's leather. The lighter goldy brown is fur. There might be a few metal colours in here. You might have some contrast in colour, so most of her colours are natural browns or warms. But I might do some things like this belt. I might pick a more cool colour, kind of bluish grey. But if I'm using a bluish grey here, I want to use it somewhere else in the design. But I can use it here on the nose of the helmet. I can use it in the tattoos on the cheek. Or the face paint on the nose. I'm going to use a goldy yellow, that's going to be the eyes here on the lion. I might even give the character the same colour of eyes. I might repeat the colour elsewhere, like the belt buckle here. And I'll have some neutral colours like off-whites, beiges, greys and things like that. So the teeth, all the teeth elements are going to be this beigey, off-white colour. And I'm going to reuse this brown for the boots. Trousers. And yeah, so we tying things together visually so it is consistent. It tells you a little bit about who the character is, what they do, how they might act. And picking the right theme, picking a motif that tells a story that you can repeat, that make for interesting visual elements on your character, all kind of combine to do a few things in character design. So they'll give you a nice looking character that looks like it fits in to a certain location. They'll tell a story, and using those reference points, like looking at things like a lion and figuring out how you turn that into an outfit, or looking at a heart, how you would use that to make an outfit, just gets you looking at things a little bit differently. You start to kind of unravel things that you look at and figure out new ways that you can use them. The same principle applies if you're designing things like weapons for a game or something like that, or a vehicle. You have certain elements that you want to repeat through the design to keep it consistent, and that sort of emphasize what that piece of equipment or object or location is. So I don't know if you're done. But
this is really fun.
Yeah. So the quest for this week is to go out, find an object, find an animal, something, and then start designing a character around some of the elements that you can see on whatever your chosen object or animal or whatever your inspiration is going to be. But take elements from that and build a character around it.
Yeah. We will put links to the references that we've been using throughout SketchQuest in the description below. Remember to use the hashtag SketchQuest so we can find all of your wonderful designs. We'll be back tomorrow with yet another SketchQuest. We're going all the way until the end of January. Whose smart idea was that? Remember to go check out Lost Haven on all the social medias. We'll be back soon. Until then, we'll see you later, taters. Bye.
Bye bye.